Rediscovering trigonometric sum formulas. Imagine you were taking a pre-calculus test and you forgot the identity sine x plus y or cosine x plus y. But there is a solution that you can come up with on your own. So let's take a look at the first slide. Suppose you've forgotten the angle addition formulas. How could you reconstruct them? Let's explore with an example where x equals 30 degrees and y equals 90 degrees. So in order to understand how this formula works, how this identity works, we have to actually assign a real values to it. Instead of working with abstract x and y variables, we have to get the real numbers. So let's write it down. Let's do the first step. It's going to be a direct calculation where sine 30 plus 90 is going to equal sine of 120, which equals to square root 3 over 2. And cosine 30 plus 90, which is cosine 20, is going to equal negative 1 over 2. So let's take a look at this step number 2. We have to list the known components. So we know that sine of 30 degrees is going to be 1 over 2, sine of 90 degrees is going to be 1, and cosine of 30 degrees is going to be square root 3 over 2, and cosine of 90 degrees is going to be 0, right? So in order to find the trigonometric sum formula, the structure of it is going to be when you have multiples and you add multiples and it gives you the answer. So we have to try to find a combination of a certain sine and a certain cosine plus of a certain sine multiplied by a certain cosine, and it should equal square root 3 over 2. Let's take a look at the slide number 3 where we experiment with combinations. Let's take a look at the sine x plus y. Sine 30 multiplied by cosine 90 plus cosine 30 plus sine 90 is going to equal 1 over 2 multiplied by zeros, because our sine of 30 degrees is going to be 1 over 2 and our cosine of 90 degrees is going to be 0. It's just going to give us 0, right? And the second part is going to be cosine 30, which is square root 3 over 2 multiplied by sine 90, which is just 1, and it's going to give us square root 3 over 2. And we can see that it matches the identity of sine of 120 degrees. And after that, we can verify that this equation looks correct and plug the variables back in it, and it's going to give us the formula. It's going to give us the pattern, right? So we found the formula for sine x plus y. Now let's try to experiment with cosine x plus y. We have cosine 30 degrees, cosine 90 degrees, sine 30 degrees, and sine 90 degrees. And we have to find the combination of multiples, which will give us negative 1 over 2. Cosine of 30 degrees multiplied by cosine of 90 degrees minus sine 30 degrees multiplied by sine 90 degrees gives us square root over 3. Square root of 3 over 2 multiplied by 0, it's just going to give us 0, minus, in this case we have to subtract that 1 over 2 multiplied by 1, and it's going to give us minus 1 over 2. It means that this combination of trigonometric identities works and matches cosine of 120 degrees. Therefore, we take the variables of x and y, and once again we plug it in back in the equation, and it's going to give us the formula. It's going to give us the pattern. And by observing these results, we can conclude that sine of x plus y equals sine x cos y plus cos x sine y, and cosine x plus y equals cosine x cosine y minus sine x sine y.